Jake Pautsch says the use of renewable energies, in particular solar and wind energy, which provide electricity without causing carbon dioxide emissions, is widely supported by the population. The energy resources that we consider green, electricity from the sun, wind, biomass, and geothermal energy, are the cleanest forms of energy. But there are no such perfect doppelgangers. There is a clean energy and dirty energy dichotomy, or even an exception. A single wind turbine can generate electricity to complement the existing power supply. Commercial wind turbines are available to meet the needs of many renewable energy organizations. Use of renewable energies, in particular solar and wind, which provide electricity without emitting carbon dioxide, but energy, depends on cost-effective technologies that can improve or reduce the cost of peak sources in kilowatt-hours, kilowatt-hour. There are two types of renewable energies that can be produced by mechanical means or obtained from natural processes. Energy from wind-driven waves can be converted and used to reduce electricity costs. A less developed technology uses ocean currents, ocean winds, and salt gradients as sources of energy conversion. Jake Pautsch says renewable energies are energy derived from natural resources that can be replenished. Renewable energies come from energy sources that replace or renew natural processes. The 5 most common renewable energy sources are sunlight, wind, hydropower, biomass, geothermal energy, and heat. Renewable energy sources can be replenished in a short period of time, are not linked to volatile foreign energy market conditions, and have a lower environmental impact than traditional energy sources. They also reduce the need to transport electricity through cables, pylons and towers. Wind energy and hydropower are viable commercial energy sources in some circumstances, but are more dependent on their type than other energy sources, depending on the type and characteristics of hydropower used for domestic and off-grid electricity generation. According to Jake Pautsch, another form of hydropower uses daily tidal currents to power turbines and generators. Wind causes an uneven heating of the Earth's surface by the sun and can be used to generate electricity. Solar thermal power plants generate electricity by concentrating solar energy in a heat fluid to generate steam that is then used to spin generators. For the sake of electricity generated by solar panels and wind turbines, they can be considered 2 different forms of energy. Wind turbines are used to collect the kinetic energy of the wind from its blades and convert the movement of the blades into electricity for an electric generator. Wind energy is a form of solar energy as a clean energy source because the sun is responsible for weather patterns on Earth. When we experience an amazing clean energy source, such as sunlight or heat, we use it to generate electricity through technologies such as solar panels, concentrated solar power plants, and reflective mirrors. If we produce electricity without emissions or pollution, it deserves a check mark. Solar energy and the electricity generated by wind turbines do not produce air pollutants. In the UK, solar is a popular way to supplement your energy consumption. It sounds like the perfect renewable energy source, but the amount of solar energy we consume varies depending on the time of day, season, and geographical location. Wind farms are a familiar sight across the country, and wind energy is increasingly contributing to the national grid. But, as with all clean energy alternatives, wind has specific challenges and increased safety risks for operators and mechanics. Unlike solar panels, which only need to be installed by humans, wind farms need technicians for maintenance. Instead of using wind power, energy turbines are used to power generators that feed electricity into the national grid. Solar power, for example, requires a range of photovoltaic modules to generate electricity, and workers need to know how to safely install them. Wind turbines that use solar energy to generate clean electricity can have an impact on the environment during the manufacturing process. Dams, for example, use the power to channel water through them, which can harm fish and wildlife. Ever since President Jimmy Carter put solar panels on the White House roof 40 years ago, renewable energy has been a niche technology, expensive and quirky. Paying for generative capacity is an outdated approach that shifts some of the value of actual production to be used to divert money away from older fossil fuels and nuclear power plants. As my colleagues John Moore and Miles Farmer and Ada Statler have said, paying PJM, the largest electricity market in the country, to propose something similar is exactly what the Trump administration considers in its misguided coal and nuclear rescue plan. Jake Pautsch says solar and wind power are supplanting dirty fossil fuels and nuclear power in the market. They win not only because they are clean and necessary to combat carbon pollution, but also because they can be cheaper for power producers, businesses, and customers. From geothermal energy to hydrogen, the sun plays an important role in 7 clean energy sources that can be tapped to make our world more environmentally friendly and combat global warming. With the advancement of the Industrial Revolution based on concentrated energy tied to fossil fuels, attention has shifted to renewable energy. This has been exacerbated by the growing use of fossil fuel-based grid electricity and the importance of portable, high-density energy sources for transportation in the age of oil. As electricity demand escalated and supply depended on fossil fuels, hydropower, and nuclear energy, concerns arose that carbon dioxide emissions could contribute to possible global warming. Even though catastrophe events such as Chernobyl and Fukushima are taken into consideration, calculations and mathematics say that the amount of energy created by nuclear power is so vast it more than outweighs these events in the long run. Despite its perceived dangers, wind is the safest form of energy. Wind turbines on a supply scale can today reach peak currents of up to 80% of the BET's limit.